Thank you for being patient. Your patience will be rewarded. We're here today to bring back a distinguished gentleman. I think you know him already, and you've probably heard most of it, so this is going to be all new and up-to-date information. So please welcome to the stage Mr. Robert Knepper.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Where is she? Nada. Oh, she's not here. Thanks for this, Romania. I appreciate it. I'll be having the whole bottle tonight. The whole bottle, right? They said it was light stuff. Really easy? Okay. You lied to me. So, I wanted to say that, first of all, I really loved yesterday. I don't know if any of you were here yesterday for the panel. It was one of the things I told my wife when I got home is I said, I really marvel at somebody like Elton John when he sang the wind, what is it called, the candle thing?
Candle in the Wind.
Candle in the Wind, when Princess Diana passed away and he was at her funeral and he sang that song. And I was like, how could you sing that song, man? It was like, you were so emotional. And I'm telling this story about being here 30 years ago in Romania, you know, the guest of Ceausescu, and talking about oppression and fear and paranoia, and I got choked up several times, and I thought, okay, just be Elton John, man, just breathe. Just breathe. And sometimes I was successful and sometimes I wasn't. So thank you for listening to that, and thank you for coming up to me and saying that you were affected by it. You asked a lot of questions about Prison Break and about Teabag, which I get. I understand it. It's what most of you know me from. And then I started thinking about today, and I thought, well, what the hell am I going to talk about today? I'm spent. I said everything I wanted to say that I've been wanting to talk about for 30 years since I was here. And so I thought, I don't know what I'm going to say. And during the photo shoot, I don't know where she is, but I just happened to blurt out, I was like, this one lady I was taking a picture said, what am I going to talk about today? And she said, well, why don't you talk about the present? And I went, wow, eureka, that's like amazing. So what I'd love to do is say that was the past, yesterday was the past, and today's the present. So the first thing I'd like to say is, and please don't be mad at me, but anybody in line that has a question about Prison Break or Teabag, I'd like you to go to the back of the line and think about another question for me, because as much as I love that role, and in case you haven't heard, there is a very strong rumor that Prison Break is going to be coming back. We don't know yet for sure, and we don't know who's going to be involved, so if you like the idea, let them know. Hello, darling. How are you? Thanks for the little beer-like substance I'm going to have later. You can come up here if you want. I don't care. Okay. Okay. But I'm so much, as all actors are, we're so much about what's happening now and what's happening in the future. So, do you have a question about Prison Break? Okay. Otherwise, then we have some stuff that we're going to talk about too, about work I'm working on and stuff that I like to do and all that jazz. But
Yep,
right, Brad?
actually,
I just took over his job.
You made my job a whole lot easier, yes. And trust me, nothing I like better than to let the professional just run with it. So, quite simply, what's happening now, and what are you working on?
Do you mind if let's save it, because this might be even more interesting
I
than...
thought you made like a no gesture. And
No,
I'm
going
my
to
bad.
sit over here and make you feel better.
Okay. Keep me in check.
Hello.
Hello.
I got you, Robert. I don't have a question about Prison Break.
Okay.
Given your relationship with CW that I actually asked about yesterday, I was wondering if ever in the last 10 years you were offered a part on Supernatural. If yes, what parts were you offered? And if not, would you consider playing God so that when people see you down the street, they don't go Teabag, Teabag, they go God?
It's not a stretch.
Well, if they could see that clip from yesterday of talking about Romania and how much I love Romania, they might believe I was God, because I feel like I had a good effect on you. No, I've never been approached about Supernatural. I had a great dinner with Mark when we were shooting Cult on CW, and I know they love me, and the segue into Arrow and Flash was pretty great. And I would totally be up for the idea of God. There's a lot of pressure to be good, but I'd be willing to try it. Thank you very much. I'm going to go sit over there now.
Hello.
Hi.
My question doesn't really concern the present, but yesterday you said that you've spent some time in Bulgaria, and since I'm Bulgarian, I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only Bulgarian in the crowd. I want to ask you, how could you describe the country, the people, your experience?
Okay, here I go. I said I wasn't going to talk about the past.
Sorry.
But I have to tell you something funny. 30 years ago, when I was getting ready as a 25-year-old to come here to do this play, CIA came to Louisville, Kentucky to brief us, and they said at that time the only other country worse than Romania at that time was Bulgaria. So when I went to Bulgaria about 5 years ago, I can't remember, when I shot Hitman there,
Yeah.
I was expecting the worst. I was like, oh man, I was in Romania 30 years ago, and Bulgaria is going to be like, ugh. Bulgaria is like Europe. Bulgaria is what I thought Romania was becoming 30 years ago. Sofia is this beautiful city. I love that monastery where you travel south of Sofia.
The real monastery?
The real monastery, yeah. Gorgeous place.
Yeah, it is.
The people were just terrific there. I love Bulgaria, and I can't wait to go back and shoot there again. I think it's terrific.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Hi, my question is a bit about the past and a bit about the future. Is there a movie director that really influenced you or his work really stick with you? And have you ever considered giving directing a shot or in the future?
Oh, you speak in my language. There are so many directors that I really want to work with. Tarantino's way at the top of my list right now. I'd love to work with Quentin. Talk about a guy who speaks my language. I mean, I had 4 callbacks for Reservoir Dogs between me and Tim Roth for the part. And I just met him again for his Western. I had 3 callbacks. He's a little bit of a tease, you know, because I love him, but he's like, Knepper, come here. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so let's talk. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go younger. So I think it's going to happen. Danny Boyle. I'd love to work with Danny Boyle. And I love the idea of working with European directors. I love European directors who come and want to do American stories but give their bent on it, their different kind of way of thinking about it. And to answer the second part of your question, I'd say within the last 10, 15 years, every time I work on a project as an actor, directors come up to me and say, you know, you'd be a really good director. So I'm never going to give up acting. I love acting. And I'll die acting, but I definitely want to direct. I'm working on some projects right now that I'm writing, and they're passion projects, so I probably have to be the one that directs them. So absolutely, look for my name as a director.
Yeah, thank
within
you.
the
Can't
next
wait
2
to
years.
see your future work.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for sticking around.
Oh, pleasure.
I haven't really watched Prison Break. I know you more from projects such as Good Night and Good Luck or the Kennedy series, which is kind of related to my question. You once said that portraying Bobby Kennedy actually influenced a very important decision in your life. Your son.
If I sit on the edge here, can you still see me camera-wise up there? And I saw Anthony Hopkins do this once. And I really liked it. Yeah, you can see me. Okay.
Is there any other character that you've portrayed or a character that you'd love to explore in portraying that might have meant just as much to you as Bobby Kennedy?
Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy still haunts me, and his life and playing him is actually the subject of one of the stories that I'm working on right now, because I'm still haunted by him. And the story is more of my process of how I stupidly thought I was Bobby Kennedy. One of the things I realized as an actor, you can never, ever be that guy you're playing, especially if he's a real-life character, if he's a real-life person, because no one's Bobby Kennedy except Bobby Kennedy. And I was working with, you mentioned another movie that I worked on, Good Night and Good Luck, and I had this conversation with Robert Downey Jr., who played Charlie Chaplin. And I said, you know, the weirdest thing is I got visited by Bobby Kennedy one night in a dream. And he was like, no, Charlie Chaplin came to me in a dream one night. And we started talking about that fine line that you go through between I'm so into this guy and playing him that you start to think you are him. And you always have to remember that you're not. But Bobby Kennedy did influence me. He had 13 children. And I had never thought of having kids until I played Bobby Kennedy. And when my son was born, I actually wrote Ethel Kennedy, his wife, and I said, well, I thought, what am I going to say? I was like, hey, it was great playing your dead husband. I mean, it wasn't, I didn't know what I was going to say to her. So I sent her a birth announcement for my son's birth, and I said, thank you very much, because he gave me the gift of life. I never thought about having it. I like to think that I inhabit every character that I play. I always say, like, getting into their shoes. So the broadest way to answer that question is the next role I play is the one that I'm also going to do that with. There's a huge miniseries coming up on Memorial Day weekend that I talked about yesterday called Texas Rising on the History Channel. And they're the same people that did Hatfields and McCoys, which shot here several years ago and won lots of awards, and they have very high hopes for it. And they're already talking about the second chapter of that miniseries. And it would be the same character, and I'm already, even without knowing that that's going to go ahead, I'm already thinking of that guy and that backstory. Like, the deeper you go. You know, Shrek, the movie Shrek, talks about, donkey, I'm an onion, you know. You peel away the layers, and that's how the longer I have a character to play with them, the more time I have to keep peeling away those layers. So always looking forward to that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
I have two questions. First question is it too early to know if you'll be back for Arrow or the Legend spin-off?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is about the show Cult, which unfortunately didn't catch on, but I enjoyed watching and I found fascinating. Can you talk about how it felt for you to embody such a complex and dark character?
Well, the cool thing about Cult was, I did that. I played that cult leader, but then I also got to play the actor who was playing the cult leader. And I thought they could have gone a little more opposite. Like, here's this very strong, charismatic, in-your-face cult leader, and then the actor playing the cult leader, I thought could have been, I don't know, sorry, talking about the past for a second. T-Bag was, you know, this guy that everybody on the street would be like, I mean, I can walk into any bar anywhere in the world and people are afraid of me. And I've never been in a fight in my life. But because of the power of playing that character, you know, boom, I walk in and they're like, woohoo, big biker dudes, like, back up. Totally lost my point. Hate that when I do that. So I thought the actor, I got it. I thought the actor could have been that guy that was like, oh my God. And I got a little sick of it. People being a little scared of me. I'm like, why are you scared of me? I'm like this dad. I'm a dad. At that time I had a 3-year-old son. So I think Cult was a little ahead of its time. Talking about the power of social media, the power of television over minds of people, controlling people, and some bigger cult leader was kind of, masterminding this whole thing. I think when it comes back, when that idea comes back again, I think they have to be even more specific. Maybe take the idea of the actor going, what's the guy's name who plays Batman?
Bale.
The one who went to the theater in Texas and apologized to the audience. Christian Bale, thank you. So Christian Bale goes, he didn't cause this, but he went to that town, that theater where that dumbass went into the theater and killed all those people. And he sort of, if I'm remembering right, he took a little responsibility for that, saying, I played this character in this movie where this violence happens, and I'm not saying that I shouldn't do violent movies, but I'm aware of the fact that sometimes crazy people watch movies like that, and in the name of whomever, that person or that movie, they go off and they make violence, and they kill people, which is stupid. And I always thought that the actor in Cult could have gone to the producers and said, look, man, I'm very much aware that this character I'm playing is making people go off and kill people in real life, like in the story Cult. And they were very sweet, the producers. They listened to me and they said, we'll talk about that in the second season. And I think sometimes the problem with television nowadays with certain storytellers is they should not be afraid of saying what is a possible story right now. And I don't know if that would have saved the show or not, but there's so much to watch on television. There's so many great things to watch on TV that you can flick the channel very easily and go to somebody who is going to tell that story, who is going to tell you something that's cutting edge. Did I answer the question? Yes. I think I did. Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Hello, dear.
Hi. My question is a very simple one, and given it's my first day here at Comic-Con, I hope it wasn't asked before. Everyone is here for their favorite actor, so what is your favorite actor?
That's so sweet. That to me is like saying, who do you like more, your mother or your father? I have so many. I just mentioned him, Anthony Hopkins. Is one of my favorite actors. Talk about somebody who can scare the crap out of you, but then turn around and make you cry, and it hasn't made me laugh so much, but he's a very well-rounded actor. I would love to do a love scene with Kate Blanchett. I think that would be kind of fun. We'd probably have to disguise it like, we're really smart people and we're like working together as diplomats, and then we kind of look to each other and then we do something. But there's just so many. There's very few actors that I don't like, and the only ones I probably wouldn't want to work with are the ones on reality television, because they just play themselves. But thank you for asking that, because acting is not about, to me, it's not about what I'm doing, it's about what you're doing. I studied the Meisner technique, which is all about, I don't do anything unless you make me do it. If you throw the ball at me, I got to take the ball and I got to throw it back to you. And Hopkins, Blanchett, George Clooney, I'd love to work with again. All these guys, they know how to play ball, and they're the kind of people I want to play ball with. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're doing all right, aren't we?
Say again?
You talk too much.
Yeah, I know.
Hello.
Go ahead, brother.
About Prison Break, what was your favorite and...
What did we say about Prison Break?
I don't know, I wasn't here from the beginning. Sorry.
Can't talk about Prison Break? Go to the back of the line. No, okay, go ahead. One question about Prison Break, that's it.
What's your favorite scene to record?
Sorry?
Your favorite scene you recorded and your most difficult one?
My favorite scene?
Yes.
And my most difficult one. My favorite scene in Prison Break is probably gonna... Let me get three from you guys. What are your favorite scenes in Prison Break? You didn't see it. Who's down here a Prison Break fan? What's your favorite scene in Prison Break? I'll tell you if it was mine. The whole first season. First season was pretty great. Over here. I gave the speech about him. That was a beautiful moment. I don't know if you remember, but I did this with my foot. And the reason I did that is because I remember as a kid in Ohio, on Memorial Day, which is coming up, they get these old soldiers coming out in this very old cemetery, very small village of a town called Helena, Ohio. And they would get their guns out there, and they would be very proud soldiers again, and they put them up, and they would do a 21-gun salute. And there was always that feeling of that, and I kept hearing bagpipes in my head. And I have no idea if Brad Bellick was a member of the military or not, and T-Bag hated CO. He hated the CO. But there was respect for him enough to give him the funeral. Yeah, that was a very potent moment. Anybody else have another? What? That was in the first episode. Okay, that's a good one. My least favorite was, I know this one, I don't have to ask you, because it was very hard for me to act it, was the scene where the little girl, I talked with her by the pool. Huh? I can't hear you. She became a big singer, right, or something? Yeah, back then she was just this sweet little girl, and I've heard over the years she said to people, he was so nice to me. He could have been such a creep as T-Bag. But I remember thinking, that has got to be the toughest scene, because that was pure pedophilia, right? Hey, you know what? You need somebody you can trust. Your dad, he's giving you shit. I'll be here for you. It was like the poster for pedophilia, like, watch that guy. Don't go anywhere near that guy. And you know, the man that gave me the best advice of how to play that scene was the guy who played Brad Bellick. I was talking to Wade that day and I said, Wade, how the hell am I going to do this scene? This makes me want to throw up. And he said, just be your friend. And that's all I had to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No more Prison Break questions. Yes, dear.
Hi.
Hey.
I would like to know, what does follow your heart mean for you right now?
Follow my heart?
Yes.
Oh, man. It is what it is, you know? And it's like, I don't want to, I'm 55 years old. I'm finally starting to understand what midlife means. And so I think my glass is half full instead of half empty. And I want to work with really, really great people. I want to continue being a great husband and a great dad. And my heart is about doing good. I don't mind playing bad guys, but I just got to make sure my life, my real life, is from the heart and not BS. Because it's just too short, and my life is too short, and I just want to make sure that I really enjoy it, and I get the most out of it, and I do the right thing.
Thank you.
I want to talk for a bit about that, if you will, if you don't mind.
I'm just sitting here. No. The thing that's been running through my mind, and I'll be honest with you, is I'm trying to calculate exactly how surreal it was that when you asked who was the actor who played Batman, the only thought I had was Adam West.
Brother, that's me, too. It's Adam West. I want to talk about, because all of a sudden I'm going to realize I'm talking, and then you're going to go, get off the stage. It's time to go. Talking about where my heart is, it's working on projects that are dear to my heart. And these two pieces I'm writing, the one that I may end up directing, the one about Bobby Kennedy, it means a lot to me. And but I just want to, for a minute, clue you in on what I am doing. There's a sweet little film that's about to open called Ride, R-I-D-E, with Helen Hunt. And Helen is just an amazing Oscar-winning actress. If you get a chance to see it, it's a really sweet film about a mother who has to let her son grow up. and I play the son's father. And it's the first time first time I ever played a dad of a grown man. He's like 20 or something. Maybe it was vanity, but I never thought I was old enough to play a dad, at least of a 20-year-old. So I am. Chronologically, I'm the age where I could play somebody's dad at that age. And so I'm really proud of that film. It's a slow burn. It takes a little while to set up, but it's got a really sweet payoff. And I play a really, good guy in it. And it's a really nice thing to be the good guy. I agree. I know what you're going to say. You say, well, bad guys are so much more interesting to watch, and they're funny, and they're, the things that they're thinking. It's kind of fun to watch them go through that process. But it's also really nice once in a while to play the good guy. Well, then Memorial Day weekend, that's all going to be flipped upside down again with Texas Rising, because the guy is a complete asshole. But he's a fun asshole, and it's going to be, I think, a really beautiful, huge, epic product that Roland Joffe directed, and I love Roland Joffe. He directed two of my favorite films, one called The Mission years ago with De Niro, and another film about Cambodia called The Killing Fields. And he's an amazing auteur and director, and I love that. I have a series coming out in the fall called Public Morals. I think I also mentioned this yesterday with Ed Burns, who I worked with on Frank Darabont's show, Mob City. And that is 1960s Vice Squad cops, and I play their captain. And Eddie is an amazing actor. He did Brothers McMullen. I don't know if you ever saw that film. He's written it, directed it, starring in it, or I should say acting in it. I hate the word star. And that's going to be on TNT in the fall. And then, of course, I don't know if you saw the last Hunger Games, but I was in that one. And I'm in the last one, which comes out in November. And then I'm writing this stuff. So there's my spiel about what I'm doing. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Olivian. It's a pleasure meeting you. One frustrating thing for me is that the TV show content, we don't get it live worldwide. So the ratings, they stick to the USA ratings, right? And how soon do you think the industry will change and the content will go live worldwide, and the other parts of the world will, be a part of the ratings and influence how the TV shows
I don't know.
Like
I really don't know. I think things are changing so quickly with Netflix moving in and Amazon moving in next door. Networks are a little scared, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. A lot of times, International wants to know how it's doing in America before they spend the money elsewhere. I really don't have the answer to that. I wish for you guys to be able to watch Texas Rising, for instance, the same time that it's on in the States, Memorial Day weekend. That's May 31st. That's not going to happen. But maybe Public Morals, it'll happen. Well, yeah.
Yeah, not legally, but still, it's sad because the ratings are not,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you can download anything, right? I mean, you can get it anywhere these days. But it'd be nice to see it on a big old cleared.
Downloading it doesn't mean you're being part of the project, like a fan, putting out there your opinion on the show, influencing. I mean,
what you're asking me, I think you should put it out there. You can feel like the President of the United States if you go online and you start a blog and you say, I feel very deeply about this, and you get other people in the audience to. That's how you start a revolution, right? You get people talking and do it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm here to steal an answer from you. It's a very, very simple question. I have a friend back home in Warsaw, in the middle of Transylvania, who always teases me with the pocket gesture. So she's Anna, and if you want to say hi, Anna, for me, she's on the phone, just like that. Will you do it?
Hi, Anna?
Yes. That will be all. Thank you.
Bye, Anna.
I've had shorter relationships.
Hi, my name is
It's a privilege to see you here. And I have a question about your fan base, because I'm just going to stick to T-Bag. The character brought you a lot... This character brought you a lot of people, and by that I mean you can see in a corner my dad being like, hell yeah, T-Bag, but in the other corner you can see like a 11-year-old being like, yay, T-Bag. How do you feel about this wide range of fans?
Why were you watching the show at 11? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Because parents, that's why.
My son's now 13. He just started watching it. So actually, he just finished it.
Yeah, so
I didn't want my son to see that. And I always thought, a lot of young kids see that show, and I think, but the cool thing about Ben now watching the show is he'll turn to me and go, I can't believe you just said that, or I can't believe you just did that. So he gets the humor of it. You know, again, I'm the actor. If I feel like Prison Break caused people to go out and rape and kill children, then I would be standing up here saying, I really regret doing that show. I think it's hugely entertaining, and it was a lot of fun, and people use their imagination both to act the part and to watch the part. And I don't go out promoting anything that character did. I just had a great time doing it. And any time you see me playing a bad guy, or what is usually dubbed as a bad guy, I always have a little bit of a smile, because I can't believe that we actually still, when I was a kid, it was just cowboys and Indians. It was just good guys and bad guys. And you have to have bad guys in order to have conflict. It's one-on-one writing. You can't have a hero unless you have, you can't have God unless you have the devil. You have to have black and white. And nowadays, thank God, you have all these colors in between that no one is one color or the other. So it's not my job to judge those characters. I hope that you're not messed up for life by watching it at age 11.
I don't think I am, but I let the rest decide.
But in a way, maybe it was good you see it, because, you know, some guy, when he starts coming at you like that, in the future, you'd be like, I'm not going near that guy. And I'm not going to let my children near that.
Yeah, exactly.
Near that guy. But meanwhile, I just hope you had fun
thanks.
watching it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Anna, and my question is related to Percy Jackson, actually. How it was like to play such a mighty titan, and that CGI thing that was pretty scary, actually. And another short question, Marvel or DC?
Sorry?
Marvel or DC?
Marvel or DC? It's a trap.
You have to choose one.
Okay, Percy. Percy was a voiceover gig. That's really what it was. And they brought me in and said, you know, here's where you go. So I go in with all these colors in my paintbrush of French impressionists going, what about this? And and by the time I see the film, it's like I sound like because of what they could do with the computers. So they could have had anybody be that voice. I had a lot of fun doing it. Whenever you do voiceover work on a film like that, where you're basically dubbing in the voice of a character, they put you in a big room, huge room with carpet everywhere on the walls and the floor, the big screen, and you can have a little TV monitor in front of you, and you have the microphone, and you're going, but the cool thing about it is that when you're watching it back, when they're playing it back, and I've gotten to the point now where it's called ADR. Every film, television project I work on, sometime there's going to be a plane flying overhead. So you have to go back in the room and you have to redo the sound. In that case, because it's animation, you don't do that. You're just you're honoring the producers and the directors in the behind the glass in the other room. They're saying, what do you want? And they'll talk to each other and say, do it a little bit more like next time. Okay, I'll do a little more. I don't know what difference it made. But the cool thing about it is you lay down on the carpeted floor and you watch this big thing with your voice going on it, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm a god right now. I'm that big old guy that's like going, Psh. And so that was a lot of fun. I forgot the second part of your question. What was it?
Marvel or DC?
It's a trap. Don't answer that question.
Say Dark Horse.
And no, I'm not playing the Joker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Freddie.
Hey there. So, talking about the future, if there's any project out there that you'd like to do and hadn't gotten the opportunity or the call to do it, what would be your top 2 projects that you really want to be involved with?
Anything that Steven Spielberg is about to direct, I would love to work on with him. And actually, talking about the past for a second, you know that story I was telling you yesterday about being here 30 years ago? Tonight, hopefully, what is it, 4? It's 4 something here, almost 4. I'm going to meet Jon, who runs the Romanian National Theater. And I have this idea that I'd like to propose to him of maybe coming over here and doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Only, the thing is, sorry about you guys in the back there, you can't see me. The thing about it is that it's not just about, it's been a long time since I've seen the play and I read it, so it'd be nice to revisit it and see if I'm still right about this. But when I saw the movie years ago, I just thought it was crazy Jack Nicholson doing this thing, you know, and throwing the sink through the window, and as a crazy person being free to get out of the asylum. And then when I saw the play here, and Chief pulled that sink out, and everybody in the audience goes boom, 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 boom with the clapping, because it was about freedom, and it was about breaking out, and it was about Romania breaking out. It was so moving to me, the power that that play, that director, and that actor had over the audience and to me. And I thought, now the whole frickin' world is feeling that. And not just Romania, not just Ukraine, or not just any Middle Eastern country right now trying to find its footing against guys who think it's kind of fun to behead people. It's just everyone is feeling a prisoner in a sense. And so what I'd like to maybe talk to him about is they don't necessarily have to all be Romanian actors and me. We could get some of the Game of Thrones guys in there. You know, we could get Christian to be Chief, who pulls that. He could easily pull that sink out of the wall. He'd be like, hey, whatever, and it's out of the wall. And get actors, well-known actors from all different countries. We're all in that insane asylum together right now, trying to figure out this craziness of how to all live together. And at the same time, break out. There's a theme here, isn't there, with prison in my life? I don't know what it is, but I'm fascinated by that idea. So we'll see. I'll talk to him, and maybe you'll write him a letter and back me up on it. We'll see.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Knepper. I have a question about another terrifying, psychotic character you played. I am talking about Sid Rothman from Mob City. And what is like playing Sid Rothman? And what about Mob City? Why there are only 6 episodes?
Okay, Mob City was originally intended to be a series. The way it was advertised, first of all, it came on right before Christmas in the States. I don't know how you could ever sit through however many nights it was, 2 or 3 nights, I think. I think they showed 2 episodes per night. Right before Christmas. You got to go shopping. You know, you got family to cook for. Like most people, you download it. You watch it later. And networks are still, even TNT is guilty of, well, the live numbers weren't great enough to warrant a second season. And I think the way it was billed, they called it an event. And it made people think it was a miniseries, which it wasn't. It was the beginning of a series. Again, with Sid, I look at the positive things about a character. Frank really wanted me to do that show. I love Frank Darabont, and I couldn't wait to work with him. I actually auditioned for Neil McDonough's part, Captain Parker, who became Chief Parker. I wanted to play the good guy. And Neil McDonough is the sweetest guy on the planet. And don't be surprised if that guy, by the way, becomes the mayor of Los Angeles. I'm telling you here first, because I think he has some serious plans about running, and then who knows where. He might become governor and president of the United States someday. But he's a great guy, and he is Chief Parker. He was a squeaky clean kind of guy, that character in real life. And a couple of days into shooting, he came up to me and he said, I heard that you were auditioning for my part. And let me just tell you something. You were never going to play my part because you were born to play Sid Rothman. He was so sweet how he set it up, but I had no idea where he was going with it. And the thing about Sid is, I just kind of looked at that role of he protects family. He protects his best friend, Bugsy Siegel. They've been friends forever, and there's a scene where Eddie Burns says, the guy took it for me. He took bullets, and I mean, you need somebody like that in your corner to take care of you. The thing that I did maybe to keep me sane during the process of that is in my back room of my place, I needed to make some more room. And I needed bookshelves, and I needed a desk. And I used to build furniture when I was younger in my 20s just to keep myself from going nuts when I wasn't working. And I didn't really know anything about building furniture, but I would learn by doing. And I had this idea because I needed these bookshelves and I needed this desk, and I wanted it to look kind of like a 40s kind of look to it, that Sid Rothman was a carpenter. So by night, he's off protecting his best friend and killing people ruthlessly, but by day, he's probably playing with his kid on the beach, and he's building furniture. So that's how I thought about these guys, because these guys these mob guys that we always love and revere and hear about in the States or Romania or wherever they are, Russia, they're not always going out and killing people. They have wives, they have children, and they might be thought of, I hope, as good dads, good fathers. So by being a carpenter, I thought, I'm doing something good. I'm dealing with these nightmares that I'm sure going to have if I was Sid Rothman in real life of, oh my God, I just killed that guy. I just killed another guy. I killed another guy. So I'm going to go build something that's positive. Hope that answers it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi. Earlier today, you answered the question about Bulgaria, and I wanted to ask you, what did you expect when you knew you were coming to Romania?
This time? Yeah, because remember, 30 years ago,
I know.
it was very different. That's a really good question, because that one thing I wanted to tie in with being in the present is the minute I landed in Romania, the minute I saw a customs passport control guy, was a very, very different feeling than I felt 30 years ago. And I haven't really thought about it in 30 years, but seeing that guy and then getting in the car, coming here and seeing your faces are very different than your parents' faces 30 years ago. And God bless you and this country for dealing with the present and being very demanding of your government and saying, we deserve this right now. We've had enough time for this stuff in the past. We're all going to work very hard, but we also expect you to listen to us and to keep us very much alive and keep us in Romania. Give us a reason to stay in Romania instead of, I've heard a lot of stories about people saying they want to go because there are a lot of opportunities out there. What I feel, what I see is a lot of hope and a lot of dreams. I didn't feel that 30 years ago at all. People were like, you know what? This is the way it is. I want to be a doctor, but they're not going to let me be a doctor because there isn't any room to be a doctor. I'm gonna have to go in the restaurant business. That's all they're gonna let me do. I remember a guy had written a choral symphony that we saw up in Cluj, and I went to see his huge production. Again, it was all about breaking out. It was about freedom. And then I invited him to my play, and I took him to lunch, and he said to me, he was 25 years old, same age as I was, and he just kind of shrugged and he said, "This is it. I've done everything I can do in my life. I've written the choral symphony, commissioned by the Romanian National Orchestra. That's it. That's all I can ask for. Nobody will ever hear my music outside of Romania." He couldn't even leave Romania. Wow, have things changed a lot since then, right? And you're smiling, and what I see is people are finally smiling, going, I deserve this, and I'm gonna keep deserving this, and I want people to make sure that this keeps happening. A lot different than it was 30 years ago. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mr. Knepper. I'm a bit shaking. Do not worry. Probably my beats per minute are like 180 right now. I was amazed yesterday. I was at your panel when you said that you came to Romania in 1985 when you were 25 years old. You said that you were green, you were like a sponge, like a kid. An infant is a sponge. And I identify with this. I'm also 25 years old. And it's like my second childhood now. I'm like a sponge. I absorb everything, new stuff. I like to contact new things. I wanted to ask actually 2 questions. What advice would you give to future professionals, people who are in their 20s and start having an active life, working life? What kind of advice? That would be my first question, and the second I'll ask you later.
I mean, I can give you like, the answer off the top of my head. It's sort of stuff I talked about yesterday. Don't give up. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Dream big. Don't fuck up. No, mess up. That's the thing I think that I realize as I get older. Mess up. I think being a good dad means letting my kid mess up instead of protecting him every step of the way. I mean, true, if there's a huge semi-truck coming at him, I'm going to be like, get over here. But if there's not a truck coming, I'm going to let him fall. I think the greatest moments in acting on film happen when there are mistakes made, when people mess up the lines. Because you're like, you're supposed to say that right now because I'm supposed to say this line, but you're not saying that line, so I got to improvise. And sometimes, a lot of times, they keep that take. A lot of times you'll have an interview for something on a job, and the boss will ask you a question that you didn't think was coming. But that boss is going to see a real true color of who you are. And I think if you're always being genuine, if it's coming from your heart, you can't mess up. And if you're thinking of yourself, if you're thinking, okay, I've got to make sure that I keep this way, and the way you guys were taught, were pounded into your head 30 years ago that you have to be a certain way, that's BS. You don't need to do that anymore. I would say, if you don't know how to get in touch with yourself, don't blame other people. Look at yourself and say, how can I keep opening up? How can I be more of who I am? And the greatest, again, this comes from that Rilke book that I mentioned yesterday. The greatest place, the greatest treasure chest for you to find out who you are and what makes you tick, because your path is going to be different than my path was, that his path is to look in your childhood and try to go back into that special, beautiful, magical time of your life and say, this is what made me tick. This is what made me happy. In acting, they call it sense memory. And normal, real people can do the same thing, too. This is what my mother did to make me so happy. This is what my dad did to push me. This is what characters I made up in my mind that helped me through the night. Or this was my best friend, or this was my blanket, or whatever it is, it comes from that very magical, huge world of your childhood. And I think that's a very infectious thing, that when you walk into a room and you're up for a job and you're thinking about a career, or you're thinking about what I should do and what university I should go to, that childlike part of you inside the body of a man or a woman is magical for you. And the last thing I'd say is don't chew with your mouth open. If you chew with your mouth open, you go into an interview and you have lunch with somebody, your boss is going to go, you know what, I thought he was a really smart guy, and then he started eating lunch. I'm teaching my son this right now. I said, Ben, you have no idea, but in 8 years from now, you're going to be having a job interview, and if you go to lunch and he sees you going, you're not going to get the job. Sorry, I had to bring a little comedy into it. But I hope that answers your question. I would just say there's just no way to know exactly what makes you tick. You got to ask yourself that question, and you have the freedom to do that. You can do anything in the world that you want to do if you believe it. What's the second question? Are we okay on time? We okay on time?
I have no idea. So,
Okay.
The second question was about also about the fact I was amazed that you came to Romania in 1985, and hell, I wasn't even born. In 1985. I didn't grow up in communism, so you experienced a very different very different. It was a very different time when you came in there. I guess it was like sort of North Korea.
A lot of people have mentioned North Korea to me the last couple of days. Yeah,
and
I guess that's what it feels like.
How is today different? Because you want to talk about the present, and
yeah,
it's important.
Well, I think I've kind of mentioned that. I feel like the fact that you could even question this right now, the fact that you can even talk about this, is something that you couldn't do years ago. Everyone told me when I would go to lunch with them, or this was a common look 30 years ago. Everybody was always looking over their shoulders, wondering if what they said to me or to my fellow actors was overheard. Securitate was everywhere. I mean, they still may be. Are you listening? I hope so. You can question. You know, America has this really cocky reputation because we're number one. You know, we're always number one, number two with Russia, and we're always like doing this boxing thing. But the fact is, we are. We're the most powerful nation in the world. And that's not always a good thing. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, and I don't think we actually live up to that all the time. I think we could be a little more understanding. I think we could have a little more transparency. I think we could, instead of condemning what other people do when they torture people, we'd say, well, we torture people too. But the fact is, the truest, purest American grows up with the feeling of, you know, it's the American dream. You can think anything. We have the right. We have the right to think anything we want because we're free. And that makes you feel really powerful. And the thinking process is more powerful than anything. And what I'm starting to see here is the fact that you all, I see it on the streets, you're out having fun at night. Since I've been in Paris, I haven't seen so much fun on the streets of Romania at night. I just wish I didn't have so much jet lag that I could really, you know, go out and really enjoy it. Maybe tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But it's like life. Life is coming back for all of you. And one of the things that I find, if I'm down, if I'm depressed, if I think it's not going to work out, I'm really scared. I think some people go to church. I don't go to church. But I do go to church when I go into nature. And I highly, highly recommend for anybody who lives in a city, like I do, growing up in the country and then moving to a city, anytime you start to feel lost, go into your childhood and see if you can get the answer there. And if you can't find it there, go into nature. Because when I get into green, when I get into trees or ocean or anything that's natural, that's where I see God. And I don't even know what God is, but I feel some presence of a higher power when I go into nature. Shakespeare has a line, Edmund in King Lear, says, "Thou, nature, art my goddess." And I don't know if God is a man or a woman, but I feel he or she is definitely out there when I'm in nature. when I'm in, where are you? You gave me this beautiful book today. Adela gave me this beautiful book on Romania. And you look at the pictures of Romania, and I remember some of these places that I was at 30 years ago up in the mountains. Securitate, everybody. Securitate. He's going to get it. See, he's up next, and I'm going to do something to him. Go look at your beautiful countryside. Go up in the mountains and get into those. Go take a hike in those mountains. I guarantee you, it'll all become very clear to you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeehaw! And with that very subtle reminder, we bring this to an end. Thank you so much, Mr. Knepper.
Thank you all, Romania. I love you. It's been a great trip. I love you. Thank you.
Yeehaw! Thank you all very much.